Good evening. Welcome to California Today. I'm David Lam, sitting in for Liang Zhang. Here's a preview of some of today's stories. Sadly, a family of 4 that was kidnapped on Monday was found dead yesterday. The suspect is under arrest after an attempted suicide. We'll hear from the police what they know. A gubernatorial debate is set for this month. Governor Gavin Newsom will be squaring off against a Republican state senator. We'll hear what they're saying ahead of the face-off. And a lawsuit has been filed against a new law which would make doctors lose their license for spreading what is being called disinformation. We'll hear from the lead lawyer on the case. The family of 4 who were kidnapped earlier this week sadly have been found dead. The suspect has been identified and arrested. ABC News just recently reported that the suspect previously worked for the family.
4 family members, including an 8-month-old baby girl, were found dead on Wednesday evening after they were abducted from their trucking business in Merced, in California's Central Valley on Monday. County Sheriff Vernon Warnke confirmed the deaths of the baby, her mother, father, and uncle. He said they were found in a rural area after a farm worker alerted authorities.
Tonight, our worst fears have been confirmed. We found the 4 people from the kidnapping, and they are, in fact, deceased. We are still working. We've got crime labs coming in from Department of Justice, and we're going to be most of the night processing the scene. There's no word right now to describe the anger I feel and the senselessness of this incident.
Police showed video surveillance of the family getting kidnapped at gunpoint, with their hands apparently zip-tied.
Photo of our suspect. And he'll continue to walk up the ramp. He'll put down the trash bag, and you'll see right there, he pulls out a firearm. He then enters the business. Unfortunately, there's no cameras inside of the business, so we have no video surveillance inside. At 9/11, the back door opens. You'll see the suspect come out, and you'll see the firearm. And then it also appears that Jasdeep and Amandeep are zip-tied behind their backs.
By Tuesday, the sheriff's office identified 48-year-old Jesus Manuel Salgado as a person of interest in this investigation. He was taken into custody and is currently getting medical attention and in critical condition after an attempted suicide. Relatives of the family made a tearful plea for help earlier on Wednesday for the public's help to find clues on their whereabouts.
This is a peace-loving family and running a small business in the Merced area. They have been living in this area for a long time. We are devastated, we are shocked, we are dying every moment, not finding any clues. So if anyone has seen anything, even a small interaction, somebody at the gas station, somebody buying something, where the suspect was taking them, any shifting of cars when he was doing that, or if he was doing that, so please do come forward. Any small lead could get us to our family.
Family members said nothing was stolen from the trucking company, but their relatives were all wearing jewelry. An ATM card belonging to one of the victims was used in Atwater, a city about 9 miles north of Merced. The sheriff said they do not know the reason for the kidnapping, but he believes it was financially motivated. Police are trying to determine if another person is involved.
Ahead of the November 8th general election, the governor and a Republican senator both agreed to a gubernatorial debate. With the midterm elections just a month away, the debate will be the first between the 2 candidates. Republican Senator Brian Daly agreed on Monday to a debate with incumbent Governor Gavin Newsom on October 23rd to be aired via radio, live video stream, and television rebroadcast. They're both eyeing the position to govern California. Newsom has served as governor since 2019 and accepted the debate invitation in September.
As your governor, I promise you, whatever challenges come our way, I will always lead the California way.
Daly has served the California State Senate for the 1st District also since 2019.
I'm running for governor of California. This is about the future of our children, mine and yours. They deserve the opportunity to thrive in the Golden State.
Polling from the Public Policy Institute in August showed Newsom with a lead of 58% and Daly with 31%. A UC Berkeley poll from September showed a margin of 53% to 32%. Sacramento local public broadcasting station KQED will host the event. According to the station, 2 of their journalists will moderate the debate. They will, quote, question the candidates in conversational format without strict time limits on answers. The debate will be aired at 1 p.m. on radio and live streaming, with a rebroadcast on television at 6 p.m. Questions for the debate can be submitted on KQED's website. Just last week, doctors and lawyers alike all gathered on the steps of the California Capitol building to call on the governor to veto a medical misinformation bill. He ended up signing it just hours later. 2 doctors have now filed a federal lawsuit. Entity News spoke with one of their attorneys representing the case.
California is trying to shut down doctors' free speech. That's according to the lead lawyer who is representing 2 doctors and suing the state.
What California is trying to do is shut down doctors' free speech. It's trying to prevent doctors from giving us what they believe is the best medical advice. Instead, California is trying to force a scientific consensus, so-called, on doctors and limit the information that doctors can provide their patients.
Daniel Sir, a managing attorney for the Liberty Justice Center, filed a federal lawsuit on October 4th for Dr. Jeff Barkey and Dr. Mark McDonald. The lawsuit is against the Medical Misinformation Bill, officially known as Assembly Bill 2098, which Governor Gavin Newsom signed into law at the end of September. Sir says the law is unconstitutional.
We're asking a federal judge to give us expedited relief to stop the Medical Board of California from enforcing this law against doctors, to protect doctors' free speech rights, to protect patients' rights to receive this medical information, this medical advice from their doctors, so that this unconstitutional law doesn't go into force.
The suit, filed in Central California U.S. District Court, is against the Medical Board of California and Attorney General Rob Bonta. Sir stresses that the United States was built on freedom of speech and that California is going to be the, quote, new battleground to protect our free speech rights.
This case is about not just these doctors, but all doctors. And this law is going to be affecting every doctor in their ability to provide accurate medical advice, what they believe is the best medical advice for their patients. A law that California passed is on the front edge of this new, quote unquote, fight against misinformation.
After Newsom signed the bill, he released a message saying that he was concerned similar laws could have a, quote, chilling effect on doctors. But he was confident AB 2098 is narrow enough to apply only to, quote, those egregious instances where physicians are acting with what he described as malicious intent. But Sir says the government should remain neutral amongst citizen debates. This law instead favors only one side of the arguments.
The 14th Amendment in the Equal Protection Clause, it says that government is going to be neutral among citizens when we have differing views in a debate. And the problem here is that California is coming in and trying to force one view on all doctors.
Sir added that the government is continuously overstepping and going over its, quote, constitutionally appropriate role, and blocking that overstep wouldn't be possible without people standing up and taking legal action.
I really appreciate that Dr. Barkey and Dr. McDonald have stepped up to participate in this lawsuit, to bring this case. We are only able to defend our constitutional rights and liberties when we have people willing to step up and defend them in court. It's sad that that's what it takes sometimes to defend our rights and liberties, but it's important that people stand up and fight back and go to court to protect their rights.
Carlos Villatoro, a spokesperson for the medical board, said the agency does not comment on pending litigation. Attorney General Rob Bonta's office said as of October 4th, it had not yet been served.
Los Angeles authorities announced on Wednesday the largest drug bust in its division's history. It's part of a larger effort to crack down on illegal drug trafficking. The U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, or DEA, Los Angeles Field Division and the Fontana Police Department busted about $33 million worth of drugs in Norco, California. Investigators saw an individual carrying boxes from a house to a vehicle in late September. They seized over 3,500 pounds of methamphetamine and 145 pounds of cocaine. This investigation into the drug trafficking organization is ongoing. We're going to take a short break, but here's a look at what we've got for you when we come back. After the governor signed a number of abortion bills into law, opponents are speaking out. We'll hear from one woman who says the state only provides abortion services rather than birthing services. Speaking of those laws, Big Tech may be facing a dilemma in how a new abortion law will be enforced. It pertains to other states gathering information on women who come to California for abortions. Last week, the California governor signed a package of abortion-related bills into law. The laws are being met with controversy, including one bill that critics are calling infanticide. NTD spoke with a member of the Right to Life League regarding her opinions of the bills.
Last Tuesday, Governor Gavin Newsom signed a total of 12 abortion-related bills into law. While many Democratic lawmakers are celebrating their success in passing some of the strongest pro-abortion laws in the nation, some critics are speaking out against them. Among those bills signed was AB 2223, which immunizes women and doctors from both criminal and civil liabilities. Critics of this bill say that this law is legalizing infanticide.
Practically speaking, the way AB 2223 is going to work, because here's what it does. It decriminalizes or any investigation, any civil or criminal investigation into stillbirth, miscarriage, abortion, and perinatal death due to causes that occur in utero.
Susan Swift, the vice president of legal affairs for the Right to Life League, told NTD that the bill lacks important definitions. One of those is for perinatal death and will not investigate any infant death up to 28 days if the mother consents.
So if a baby is born alive, and even despite a botched abortion, right, technically that baby should be allowed to live and be given immediate care. But AB 2223 goes a little farther because it's decriminalizing any investigation. It strips out the coroner's ability to investigate it. No longer is there a duty for the coroner to investigate it. Now it's just optional. So long as the mother is consenting, then there will be no investigation of how did the baby die.
According to Newsom's office, while many Republican-led states move to ban abortion, he, Democrat-led California, quote, continues to lead the nation's fight. That fight is to decriminalize aspects of abortion and create more privacy around it. Newsom said an alarming number of states continue to outlaw abortion and criminalize women, and it's more important than ever to fight like hell for those who need these essential services. But Swift says that California is trying to push free abortions to mothers without providing an alternative to those who wish to keep their baby.
If you're a young mother and you're kind of desperate in that zone, what you're going to experience is you're going to be pressured by California through all of the different programs that push abortion and offer you free services if you choose abortion.
She continues on to say that she does not agree that abortion should even be considered a healthcare service.
Healthcare is humanely delivering the child so as to save the life of the mother as well. And so both of them have a chance to live. And that's what's lost in this narrative, because it's very successful. Abortion is healthcare, and that's a lie. It is not healthcare. The intent is to kill a human being.
Another bill that was signed was AB 1242. This law is designed to block law enforcement and California corporations from cooperating with out-of-state entities regarding an abortion that happens in California. Additional bills in the package include expediting the licensing of abortion providers who move to California, providing grants to service providers who give free abortions in low-income areas, and setting up a fund to educate disproportionately affected communities about sexual health, including abortion care.
A lot of them are unconstitutional on their face, like AB 1666, AB 2091, and AB 1242, because all three of them say, well, we, the state of California, we are not going to enforce other judgments from other states that concern abortion.
Despite the passage of these bills, she says that the Right to Life League will contest the legality of these laws.
We are going to continue to educate people about the truth of abortion. We are going to continue to fight the bad laws in Sacramento. And we are going to continue to protect and shield the pro-life clinics and centers and maternity homes who are our members so that they can keep their doors open.
Swift said her organization will continue supporting nonprofits that provide alternatives and aid to women who do not want to abort their baby.
One of the bills, AB 1242, forbids California corporations and tech companies from complying with out-of-state subpoenas or orders related to abortion cases.
AB 1242, also known as the Bauer-Kahans Law, will prohibit California-based corporations and tech companies from cooperating with out-of-state entities regarding any abortion that happens within the state of California. It will influence companies such as Google, Meta, and Uber. An additional amendment of the bill was also added to include any stored digital information. The bill was authored by Democratic Assembly member Rebecca Bauer-Kahan and was sponsored by Attorney General Rob Bonta. Governor Gavin Newsom signed the bill last week and the new law went into effect immediately. According to a statement released by Bonta, he said, "This first-in-the-nation law helps shield those seeking or providing reproductive health care against wrongful prosecution and ensures that California laws and California courts are not used to facilitate investigation or prosecution of abortion-related actions that are legal in our state." But the law is receiving backlash from critics who argue that this law is going to force corporations and online tech companies to choose a side, and regardless of what side they choose, they will face consequences. Adam Kovakovich, the CEO of the Chamber of Progress, told CNN, quote, "Red states and blue states are at war over abortion and online platforms are caught in the crossfire. California's new law could potentially have a big impact on protecting reproductive privacy, but first it will create a challenging conflict between state laws. Any companies that violate AB 1242 will face legal prosecution from the state of California, but they could also face the same prosecution by other states for not complying with the legal process."
A new state law requires drivers to remove illegal modifications that cause loud vehicle noise, but the enforcement of it will likely depend on the Department of Motor Vehicles.
Governor Gavin Newsom signed Assembly Bill 2496 into law last month to address noise pollution from modified vehicles. Authored by Assemblywoman Cotty Petrie Norris from Irvine, the bill received support from several Southern California sheriff's departments. The issue of loud exhaust and noise pollution from motorcycles and modified cars has been a common theme in coastal cities. Residents complain about the loud sounds. The new law required drivers to remove illegal modifications that cause excessively loud vehicle noise, otherwise their vehicle registration could be held up by the DMV. Lieutenant Toby Archer of the Huntington Beach Police Department said that it will be hard to predict how much of an effect the law will have. He said it will require more action from the DMV when drivers renew their registration.
Now to NTD's Thomas Christian for an update on sports.
I'm Thomas Christian, giving you the California Today Sports Roundup. The LA Chargers began the season with realistic Super Bowl expectations. Their roster is loaded with high-end talent, and they got even better with major offseason addition Khalil Mack, looking to make their defense even more dynamic. Led by budding superstar quarterback Justin Herbert, what could go wrong? Injuries, unfortunately. After just 4 weeks into the season, injuries have been piling up. Their injury report going into Week 5 lists 9 players that could miss their upcoming matchup against the Cleveland Browns, including the QB Herbert and Pro Bowl wide receiver Keenan Allen. 9 players on an injury report doesn't sound like a lot until you factor in that the season basically just started, and the injury bug can only get worse, forcing them to play more and more practice squad players and making every area of their team weaker. Last week, this team struggled to contain the 0-3-1 Houston Texans after jumping out to a lead 27-7. The Texans almost creeped back into a game that had no business being competitive, but midway through the fourth quarter, the score read 27-24, and Justin Herbert had to lead one last touchdown drive to win the game. Herbert's heroics are a big part of this team starting out 2-2. He put together game-winning drives in their wins against the Raiders and the Texans, and almost put the Chargers over the edge in a 27-24 loss to Kansas City. But Herbert has been dealing with fractured rib cartilage since week 2, and is likely playing through immense pain every time he steps on the field. Herbert understands that he has to play for this team to go anywhere, but he and the rest of the Chargers star players must remain healthy if they are serious about bringing a championship to Bolt Nation. Freddie Freeman hit a home run among his 3 hits, Trey Turner homered, and host Los Angeles defeated Colorado. Cody Bellinger also went deep, while Clayton Kershaw passed Cy Young on the all-time strikeout list and is now 24th with 2,807 strikeouts. After losing 3 consecutive games to Colorado, the Dodgers reached 111 wins, second most in NL history behind the 1906 Chicago Cubs with 116. Ezequiel Tovar homered for Colorado, which had 2 hits and struck out 17 times. The Rockies finished in last place in the NL West with their 4th straight losing season. Dodgers 6, Rockies 1. While the Giants will miss the playoffs this season, they showed last night they will not go quietly into the night. David Villar hit 2 home runs, including a tie-breaking 2-run shot in a 4-run 4th inning as visiting San Francisco topped San Diego. Giants starter John Brebbia gave up the Padres' only run in the first on back-to-back doubles by Manny Machado and Jake Cronenworth. The Giants then took control as they scored 5 runs on 6 hits and 3 walks in 3+ innings off Craig Stammen. Junior Marte was credited with the win as 7 San Francisco pitchers combined for 12 strikeouts. Giants 8, Padres 1.
And that's all for sports.
That's all we've got for you tonight. We'd like for you to join us again on California Today every weekday at 8:30 p.m. Make sure to check out our broadcasts on our California Today webpage. You can find it at ntd.com/California-Today. You can also find all of our top latest clips there, ready to share with friends and family. Send us a message on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, or through our email, california.today@ntd.com. I'm David Lam, sitting in for Liang Zhang. Have a wonderful evening.